We're going to talk a little bit today about your Cyberbullying magazine project. You've already gotten the notes on this, but what I'm going to do today is show you a little bit about how to use Jillster to set up your magazine and how you can use the document that I sent you where you don't have to actually sit there and retype everything. You can actually use it to take pictures of and things like that. Let's see. Let's go, first of all, let's look at your document. It's got all of the pages that I set up for you to do are in this document. You have definitions, you have the common types, things like that. So let's take a look at the email and see which things you need to do. You've got this one right here. Magazine editors or group leaders. You are responsible for the front cover, the back cover, and page 11. That's where you're going to put the documentation and citations of every website that you guys use or every document that you use to create your magazine. Editors, please assign appropriate topics to your group members based on page numbers after you decide the order of the pages. You can use the order below if you like, but feel free to be creative. Your group members have already been assigned page numbers. When we sent those out originally, everybody got their page numbers. Now, I gave you an order that you could use to set up your pages. If you like this, feel free to use it. If you want to change the order or do something differently, feel free to do so, but you're going to have to make that decision fairly quickly with your group because this needs to be finished and turned in by Friday. Alright, page 2. That's where you might look for some statistics about cyberbullying. Page 3, you might want to put your definitions so that people can understand what you're even talking about. Now, you might even feel like you want to change that order and make page 2 your definitions and page 3 your statistics. But whatever you do, make sure that you have a list to give out to your group and that they can understand exactly what things they're responsible for on their pages. They have been assigned pages. Now you're going to assign the topics to the page. And you can use this list right here if you want to, or you can use your creativity as an editor and change that. Another one you need to be aware of, right here, you're going to be getting a quiz grade probably later today. I will be looking at each of your magazines and I will tell you whether or not everyone has accepted their invitations. And if they haven't, and let's say you have one person in your group that hasn't accepted their invitation to edit, that tells me they haven't done anything. So you're going to get a quiz grade for your group of 90. If there are 2 people that have not done it, then that would be an 80. If there are 3 people who have not, that would be a 70. So you as group leaders are probably going to want to check in on your group and make sure they've all accepted their invitations. Alright, let's get rid of all of this. Alright, let's take a look now at Jillster. On Jillster, I just made a example magazine right here. Your cover is going to be right here. Your back cover is here. All of your page numbers are here. This is page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. Now, when you click on one, you click on a person's name, it's going to show you what pages that they're using. Let's take a look at one just for an example. Make sure everybody understands how to do this. We're going to go down to period 1. Let's look at this one right here. This one has a little bit of a title here, so we're going to look at this one. Alright, now over here, everyone in this group has accepted their invitations. There's no invites waiting. So that means that this group right here is going to get 100 for a quiz grade. Now, if I were to click on Imani right here, it's going to show that Imani is responsible for page 6 and page 7. Right, because you guys, I think, have a little bit larger group. Yeah, you guys have 5. So, if I click on Macy, she's been assigned pages 4 and 5. So if we look at those emails, All right, page 4 and page 5. So far, that means Macy needs to do the common technological tools of cyberbullying on page 4, and the characteristics of bullying, or what, including why cyberbullying is worse than in-person bullying, on page 5. All right, that's how the topics are divided. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand how to find out what your topics are for your pages?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look again here at Jillster. I'm going to go back to the example and just show you how to put a couple of things in, because not everybody was able to do this yesterday. All right, let's say I'm going to edit the cover for a second. I'm going to click on the cover and click Edit. All right. You can upload images. There are themes that you can look at, but I don't think there's going to be a theme over here that's going to be good for your cyberbullying. So you can look through them and see what there is and see if there's something that you like. That's fine and well. Let's take a look at some of these backgrounds. Well, let's just choose this one right here. Let's just pick this one. And I'm going to drag this over here into this background spot right here. And now my cover page has this for a background. Now you can upload other images like JPEGs and things like that. You can upload those. You can Google something and put it on there if you want to. This is your magazine. Alright, so there's my background. I kind of like that. I'm going to leave it alone. Now if I want to put some text on this, I'm going to drag this over here. Now notice how tiny that is. It's super tiny. So I want to change the size of it to something much easier to read. How big do I want this to be? No, I don't want it to be that big. I need it to be big enough that we can see it in that box. There we go. Now I can also stretch this box, and then I can make it bigger if I want to. Okay. Now you can change your font over here. There's some pretty cool looking fonts there. Let's see what there is. I think I want to try this one. This one looks pretty cool. We're going to write the word. Now, what's going to happen is a lot of you're going to be on this highlighted thing right here, and you're going to click backspace and start to type. If you click backspace, it's going to revert back to its default, which is the super tiny. So just type over this. Alright, now I'm going to have to stretch this some more. Make it a little bigger. Now I'm pretty sure that this will allow you to change the angles and things like that as well. You're going to have to play around with that. But there is my title right there. That one's not very visible. You're going to want to make yours better. This is just an example so that you can see what to do. Now you can also upload other images on here if you want to. They have some shapes and colors that you can use on here. Might be a good idea. Here, let's do this. Let's drag this over here. Let's drag this shape here. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. I'm going to do that. And I think I want to make the color of that. I'm going to make the color of that white. And then I think I'm going to drag this, if it will let me. You can drag it around. It would be a good idea to put something like this inside that box so you can read it. Alright, play around with the editing. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this today. Now, also, I'm going to go back on this page right here. Oh wait, I need to save it. I'm going to stay. I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to go back. Now we'll go back. Okay, let's go look at one of your magazines, and I want to show you another very cool tool that you have on here that you can use. Let's go back to the one we were on right here. Down here at the bottom, you see where this says chat box? Alright. You can send messages to your group members here. Send it. Alright. Now, keep in mind that I am part of your group. I can see everything you type. I can also take screenshots and send them to your parents. Be appropriate at all times. There you go. Alright, this will make it very convenient for you whenever you need to send messages out to your group members, or if you need help finding something for a page or something like that. Yeah, what's your question?
So, when you send in the chat thing, does it show up on everybody's screen if it doesn't?
It will not notify you that there's a message that I've noticed, so you might want to just check your chat box. I haven't noticed that it sends out messages. But you can also, look right here, send an email with this message to all editors. You can also send it to their email. Okay? Because their account is set up with an email. All right, any other questions on how to use that? Now, that is an effective tool. Again, all I'm going to leave you with is be appropriate, because I will be looking through the day at everybody's magazines to see how far you're progressing. Looks like this group has already put some things in here. That's pretty impressive. You guys have done a good job so far. All right, let's see. We talked about Jillster and how to edit. We talked about the email that told you how to organize your topics. And again, that was just an example. It's a good example, but if you want to use something else, you can. You can change the order and do whatever you need to do there. All right, before we shut this down, is there any other question that you don't understand about how to put this project together? Anything that is not clear? Yes?
The citations?
Okay, the citations. Good question. Each group member, if you go to a different website and you get information from there, like somebody's researching statistics, wherever you get those statistics from, copy the URL. This is a URL. This up here. This is a web address or a URL. You're just going to right click on that and you're going to copy it. And you should probably just paste it into an email and send it to your group leader. Do it that way. That way your group leader will have all of the links, and all they have to do is copy and paste those into what's called Citation Machine. Let's put that up here. Let me take the caps lock off. Citationmachine.net right here. You paste that into here. You search websites. I'm going to tell you, I want you to use the MLA format.
Which is what you use in college.
Yes. You don't, this APA right here, that's what you use in grad school, like for your master's or your PhD, but MLA is what you're going to use in college. All right, so you're going to paste that in there. You're going to search websites. And this is the website that it's on. Here's what we found. Now, if it tells you that it can't find these things, don't stress over it. It's not that big of a deal for this. You have attempted to cite this, and if you can't find these things for it, this doesn't have an article title, it doesn't have a publisher, and it hasn't been published, so there's no date to publish there. So then you go through the final step right here, and if you want to add those things you can. If not, you just create the citation, and there's the citation right there. You can copy and paste it. Yeah, this is an awesome site. And there you go. You've got your citations done. Now, that page 11 of your magazine, this page right here, we don't need an example. We need your page 11 right here. You're going to edit this. What I would do is I would make sure that you had some text at the top of this page. Remember, again, it comes over there super tiny. Make it big enough that you can see it. You can always adjust the size later. And I would call this, let's see, what did I call page 11 in the email? Let's look and see. Let me find that email real quick. Because page 11, I don't remember what I put on there. Okay. No, I didn't. Just documentation and citations. All right. So this is not a formal paper where you would call it works cited. That's not what this is. It's not a works cited page. But let's just pretend that that's what we're going to call it for example purposes. You can call it documentation and citations if you want to. Okay. All right, and we're going to say documentation. I have to make our box bigger. And citations. I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff right here. I would probably make this smaller. Or now, I'm thinking, I was going to show you this a while ago. I'm thinking that you can use this right here. Yeah, there you go. If you want to be creative with your page, you can change the angles of these things. Alright. Okay, just a little side note there. Again, this is not a formal paper. This is a magazine. So you can be a little bit creative with this page. But make sure that your documentation and citations of every place that you went are in here. Because that's not your information. It did not come out of your head. It came from someone else. Alright? Does that help, Kai? Alright,
Yes.
any other questions? Alright, I am expecting some really good work on this. I want to show you something before we shut this down. I'm going to show you one of the magazines that somebody has done a really cool cover on. Let me find the one. This one right here. This is not a super fancy cover. It's really kind of plain and simple, but it's very effective. Okay? I mean, we're talking about cyberbullying. It takes place in school. Here's some notebook paper. Here's a girl on her phone. And then here's a girl sitting in front of her computer reading all of these words about her. Okay? Not a fancy cover, but very effective. So use your words and use your pictures very wisely on this, and you can paint a very graphic picture just with your cover of your magazine. Alright, any other questions? Alrighty, you guys get to work on this.